your best inclinations. When you're following your best inclinations on any dimension, it doesn't matter that you're facing challenges in your family, whether it's husband, wife, children. The idea is, well, what's the best thing to do? Because that's a part of the path. Part of the path is moving toward the goal that Allah has for you, and so, therefore, in moving the path and the life that God has for you as family. Okay, so therefore, as you move along that path, then you're going to run into challenges from wife, challenges from husband, challenges from children, challenges from economy, challenges from employer, whatever. You're going to have these challenges. Every time we have to ask ourselves, well, what's the best thing to do under the circumstances? That's always the question. And then once it becomes clear to us what is the best thing to do, now that's when the will comes in. Now once you've identified what's the best thing to do, okay, the next thing is that now do you have the will to do the best thing, right? Because if you have the will to do the best thing, then you've taken a progressive step on Sirat al-Mustaqim, on Sabilillah, because, okay, I know what I need to do, I know the right thing to do, I know the best thing to do, and I have the will to do it. So we do it. But sometimes we don't have the will to do it. And sometimes we don't do what we know is the best thing to do, and we just fail. That's the nature of sin. That's the nature of error, which we all do. Everybody doesn't do everything right every time, period. That's how it is. But ultimately, the goal is to get to a state and a place where you can do more often the best thing to do, right? So this is what God says, فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ. Always strive for what is best under the circumstances. So that's what we're striving. That's what we're striving for. So that's how you know. You just ask yourself, okay, in this particular situation, because we have situations all day, every day. In this particular situation, what's the best thing to do? What would be a reflection of my excellence? Because when we have impulses, we have impulses of both types. Yeah, I think I heard something in Imam's commentary that you played along that line. Is basically, to make the right choice. You okay? Something in me is saying, do something bad. Something in me is saying, do something good relative to whatever situation it is that I'm facing. Well, the goal is to choose what's better, and that's what God is saying. فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ.
So we're talking maybe in a word, kind of what are things we have to choose ethically?
Yeah,
The best thing to do.
absolutely. That's the nature of it. See, and that becomes an ethical life. That
Okay,
becomes
because I
go,
want to get another kind of a thing. Because here's what one thing, and I'm hoping I'm not taking us off what base or anything.
no. Go ahead.
Particularly right now, think about people who come, let's say, from prison, or people who come from the ghetto, or people who come from sort of what they call bad, dubious situations.
Right, right.
They're they're struggling with these ethical questions, but at the same time, their ethical thinking may be that this is the best thing, but me and you in the situation chooses a higher thing to do. So I'm trying to ask sort of the question of is there sort of heights or levels
Oh,
of this
absolutely.
sort of
Yeah,
ethical growth or development that we're
absolutely, absolutely. I mean that is the nature of growth. The real growth is moral growth, ethical growth, spiritual growth, and it has to do with, and you see it in the stratification of life in the material creation, where you have mineral life, plant life, animal life, human life, okay, and then you have Khalifa really above that. Khalifa is really like the ultimate realization of the life that God created us for. So each one of those levels that we talked about, even though we talk about mineral, plant, animal, human, they are also descriptions of states of human existence. A person
You have
can't.
another. Go ahead if you want to finish it. We do have a question too. Somebody on the phone has a question. But go
Okay,
ahead and finish.
all right. So, a person can be in a mineral state. A person can be in a plant state. A person can be in an animal state. A person can be in a human state. And then a person can, inshallah, get to this khalifa state. And so if a person is just a mineral, if a person is just a mineral, then a person, they have internal movement, they have consciousness, but then they don't, but they're stuck, where they are. They don't have outer movement. They're not really acting out what's going on the inside, right? And you have people who are like plants in the description that we're given now. They have growth, but then they never move out of the environment that they're in. Okay, they're stuck, they're tied to that environment alone. And then you have animals who are able to, they have internal movement, they have growth, they move out of their environment, but they are bound by their instincts, okay, by the law of instinct, by habitual behavior. Okay, and so you have human beings that are all of these types. You have human beings that are like minerals. You got human beings that are like plants. You got some people that never go out of their neighborhood all their life, never go out of their city all of their life, right? Well, that's plant life, right? And then you have animal life. You have people who, no matter where they go, they still behave. You can take foxes out of the country, but you can't take the country out of foxes, right? So no matter where they go, they're still tied to that habitual kind of behavior, like the Beverly Hillbillies or something, right?
Yeah.
And so that's like an animal. That's a person on an animal level. But then you have the human level. You have a person who does become aware and knowledgeable of themselves as human beings. They understand this Adamic quality about them. Meaning they understand that it exists. They understand that I have an inner quality, a spiritual quality, that there's a destiny for my human life. And so now you have to move beyond that pure human life understanding. It's like Adam beginning. When you get to that level, now you're Adam. Okay, but you're still just getting started. Now you have to move from Adam to Khalifa. You have to move from human to Khalifa. And Khalifa is a collective order. It's a group of people who have made this evolution from mineral, plant, animal to human, and now they're working together to realize an order on the basis of what they all know that God intends for the human being, the way the human beings intended to live, and the way that they're supposed to be socially situated in order to perpetuate that growth, not only in themselves, but in the generations to follow them. That is Khalifa. That's what we're supposed to be about doing. But you can see people are stuck at these lower levels, mineral, plant, and animal levels, even with names, the quote-unquote Islamic names, but you're still really an animal because you have not realized your Adamic nature and you have not gotten into the project of building Khalifa order, building Ummah the way Allah did, because you're stuck on a whole lot of other stuff that's irrelevant to that particular destiny that holds you back. Okay, let's go.
Alhamdulillah. Area code 708, you're on America Muslim 360. Please state your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, this is Gloria